Hey, what's good, everybody? So this one's a pretty cool story. Not cool, but um, like interesting, right? About two cases I got on when I had to do jury duty. So it's not gonna be so much how do I get out of jury duty, even though I do have a funny story about something that happened regarding that. That's a foolproof way. If you want to get out of jury duty, I'll share that after. Because that's with the second case, so I'll talk about that. That one actually was a tough case to work on because it was a child molestation case. So it was, not the kind of case you want to be on, but I got on it, so I did what I had to do. But the first case, it was interesting. It was kind of so I'll just get right into it, right? So I ended up getting on jury duty, the first time. My job paid unlimited. At the time I was working for UPS, and it's like unlimited. And it was actually better for me because I used to have to wake up like at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. So I was able to sleep into like, I think we had to be there. I don't know. I think I got to sleep in at least 6 or 7. So I was happy. I love jury duty, so, and it was unlimited. If I would have got it on a big case, and I was making more money because, just a little bit, I got paid, and then what the court pays you and all that stuff, which isn't a lot, but still, I was making more money, getting to sleep in. So I loved the fact that I got on a case, right? So, I got on this case, and it happened to be the daughter of a famous actor, right? I ain't gonna say the names or nothing like that, but, she was the daughter of a famous actor, one, and she had married into a family, like, it wasn't the Rockefellers, but it's on that level, kind of, these wealthy families, right? So I remember hearing the name, and I was like, wait a second, that name sounds familiar, So, I looked it up, of course, and then I was like, oh, wow, all right. So they even had, this high-priced attorney, right? So for her case, she was the defendant. So the lawyer was Tom Mesereau, which he defended Mike Tyson, Robert Blake. Everyone remembers that case. It was all over the news for a while. Michael Jackson, the Michael Jackson child molestation case. I don't know who Joe Babajian is. Claudia Haro, however you pronounce that. Suge Knight. So everybody knows who Suge Knight is, and Bill Cosby. So he defended all of them, right? So he was defending, this woman, right? And so what happened with her was she was some kind of officer, I think it was a probation officer. And, it was like all these charges, like 4 charges, right? And, it was my first experience, and so I was listening to everything the judge said. So the judge said, if you hear these when you go to deliberate, when you're in deliberation or whatever, one of the things to help you is to see if this person lied. And if they lied about one thing, maybe even another, it's safe to say they lied about, either everything or enough, right, to know that this person is not really an honest person. So, when she was on the stand, she lied pretty bad about some stuff, right? So, it was already to that point, right? Like, all right, she's just, man, this lady lies, So I was like, it had a lot to do, like, they had her for impersonating an officer, this and that. And one of the things was, like, she had said, I guess her job, they needed their badge back because, we know someone with a badge, they could come up to your door, be like, hey, I got a badge, open up. All kinds of bad things, right? Impersonating an officer. So, they had asked her for the badge back, and she had already even told her job, like, oh, I already mailed it. So that's what they showed, that, like, at the time she got stopped, even though she had already told her job that she had mailed it, like, I don't know how long ago, she still had her badge. And it was like when she got pulled over, it was like she was trying to flash the badge, like, and she even said that, like, will this make a difference? Or they asked her, is that a, it was funny how she did it, right? Like, I guess, when we were deliberating, finally, it was like, people were giving her the benefit of the doubt, and so they were like, oh, because they said she flashed the badge for like 3 seconds maybe or something. So everyone was just doing like that, 1, 2, 3. and they were like, nah, she wasn't really flashing the badge at the police officer. She just opened it, 1, 2, 3 seconds. But then we're like, nah, hold up. Let's count to 3. 1, 2, 3. So then everyone, oh, okay. All right, she was really like trying to show him. And then he's like, and he did. It worked. He saw it, and he asked her, or I guess if you're in law enforcement or something like that, and that she asked him, why, will it make a difference? Wink, wink, So, so at the end of it all, I'll cut unless maybe you guys do find it an interesting story, but I'll kind of cut to the chase. So anyways, the jury, some people didn't want to like ruin her career, even though she had already been fired or things like that. So it ended up being like we negotiated amongst jurors. It was like, me and the foreman, we got along really good. The foreman's the one that kind of is in charge of, the jurors, but not like in charge. Obviously the judge is in charge, but they put you in there to kind of be able to make order out of the chaos if there's any, or that kind of stuff, right? So me and the foreman were kind of working together. We kind of thought she was guilty on everything, but people wouldn't budge, so we found her guilty on 2 counts and 2 not guilty, right? So it was funny that we even had to come to some kind of compromise, even though it was pretty obvious, because she lied so much that it was kind of obvious that she was guilty just based on the rules that the judge gave us. Like, okay, if she's lying, if the defendant's lying about one thing, maybe you could assume that they're lying. Like, and she did. She would just lie so much, it was like crazy. So, another one was like reckless driving, all these things, right? Like she was, I guess, straddling the lane. So you're driving on 2 lanes at once. You're not signaling. She was speeding. She ran a stop, or all these things. She did all these things. So it was like, all right, that's already, how could that even be innocent? I think you got to do 2 or more things or 3 or more things, and it's considered reckless driving. So when they pulled her over, she was doing all these erratic things. So it's like, okay, that one's a no-brainer. But I don't know if that one was the one we compromised on, or things like that, right? And then impersonating an officer, all these things. So after we finally had the deliberation, and she was guilty on 2 things and 2 things innocent. Tom Mesereau, which is a high-profiled attorney, you could tell he was bothered by it. He defended Michael Jackson successfully. He defended, I don't know how the Mike Tyson thing went. I guess he did Robert Blake, for a murder trial. I guess it was rare that he got him out on bail. Like, that was something that was very uncommon, and he was even able to do that, right? So he's he's good at what he does, and so you could tell he was really bothered, because for those of you that haven't been on a trial, after, the attorneys could come ask you questions. They want to know what they did wrong. Why did you vote? Vote. Why did you? Well, yeah, I guess vote. Yeah. Why did you guys or decide? Why did you decide this way? Yeah, decide's a better word, right? Why did you guys decide this way or that way? And so he came to ask us, and I think we told them, like, she lied, kind of things, or at least that's what I probably said. I know the prosecutor came to ask us questions as well, even though they won. Well, because it was 2-2, right? So I guess they were curious too why we didn't find them guilty. I think we're straight up honest. Some of the jurors wouldn't budge, so we had to take the compromise. I think that's what happened when the attorney came. So that was that, right? So that was that. I think it only lasted about a week. That one wasn't too long. By the time we heard all the evidence and all this and that, it wasn't too long, a week. So that was pretty cool. And it was funny. Something happened to me work-wise with that, but I'm gonna share it in another. I have a bird right here, and it's eating peanuts, so it makes all this noise. So, anyways, I have another story that's like work-wise. I'm making another video that's union versus non-union. For any of you, workers that, if you're watching this, then obviously you're interested in jury duty. So, I'm guessing you work, and so maybe you guys might be interested in that union versus non-union. My experience, right? Because when I started, just real quick, because I don't want, this is about the jury duty. So I had experiences with both situations. So I'm making a video about that, and that's tied into this jury duty thing. So yeah, I'm gonna make a video about that. So anyways, now to the second case. So I got on a second case, right? And so that was the child molestation case, right? And so that was a little tough, but it was funny because when they selected us, I didn't care because, like I said, I worked for UPS. It was unlimited days we could work. I was making more money. I got to sleep in, so I was like, cool. I don't care if they pick me for anything. So I wasn't trying to get out of it. But anyway, so there was this lady. It was funny. It was like, even the judge was insulted, right? Like the judge, you could tell he was like, and he was trying to talk to her in a nice way, but his face turned red, right? He was like, oh man. So anyways, one of the ladies, she was Chinese, right? And so, the guy, the defendant in the molestation case was, he looked like a Mexican man, right? He could have been, whatever, Salvadorian, Hondureño, I forgot how to say it in English, Hondureño, right? That's how you say it in Spanish. So he was from Honduras, right? Or something, whatever. So anyways, but I think he was Mexican, right? So, the lady asked to be excused from jury duty, the Chinese lady. And she said, oh yeah, she told the judge in front of everybody, in front of the whole courtroom, because there's people waiting for their stuff or whatever. So, the whole courtroom was filled, and she says, yeah, she said, oh yeah, because, I think, like, in China, they teach us that all Mexican men are rapists. They teach us, when we go to the United States, watch out, the Mexican man, he'll get you and steal you, and they all rape and all this stuff. And even the white guy next to me was like, what the, like, he was like, damn, what a bitch. He said it. So I shouldn't have cussed, but I don't think, it matters. But he was like, damn, what a bitch. Like, straight out. Like, he looked at me like, damn, because obviously, I guess he could tell, obviously I'm Mexican, whatever. So he started laughing. I was too, like, everyone's jaw dropped, like, in the whole courtroom. Like, this lady did not just say that, but she did. So that's the thing. Like, if you want to get out of jury duty, I guess you go for the jugular. She had no shame, no nothing. Unless it's true, I guess if there's any Chinese people watching this, you could tell me, if it's true in China, they teach you that the Mexican men are rapists and monsters and they're going to steal you and all this crazy stuff, right? Because even the judge was like trying to give her an opportunity to take back what she just said, but nah, she stuck to it because she, and she got out of jury duty. Like, after he excused her, and you could tell he was mad, And he even tried to tell her, well, they taught you wrong, right? He was like, they taught you wrong, but he's all fine. Like, he just let her be excused, and everyone was like just in disbelief, right? So that's the thing, if you ever just say that, whoever say, oh, where I come from, they teach us that person's this or that person's that, So I don't know if I should give a disclaimer. I'm not giving you real advice or something, but it worked for her, so whatever. So anyways, to get started with the whole trial thing. So yeah, so anyways, then they start showing us things, right? The police officers interviewing this man, and when they had him in the interrogation room, it was so let me say the situation, right? So anyways, this man lived with a family, right? So he lived with a family. I guess he was a friend of the family. I guess he said that one day, the little girl looked sad, and he just goes like to console her, and he touched her accidentally, So it wasn't even groping or nothing like that. It was just that his hand touched the top of her, thing. She felt uncomfortable. She ran. She told her dad, so her dad was gonna like kill this dude or something. But I guess, it was good. Like, he restrained himself. He called the cops. They took him. So that was kind of like the whole situation, right? So then it gets started. And then they show us video of the interrogation. And so, you know, I don't know. This man looks very broke. Like he barely looked like he barely understood English. He was very beat down, this and that. And so, anyways, you know, after the defendant's lawyer, like he puts the police officer on the stand that interrogated him, and you know, she goes in on him, and the police officer, without even taking a breath, blinking, nothing, she tells him so about him lying. Like, so your testimony is that you guys, it's okay to lie to, and the police officer was like, yeah, we do it all the time. This is what we do. We lie to get whatever we need to get, and that's what we do. And everyone was just like, even that made everybody. So that was a very interesting case. There were so many jaw-dropping kind of things where everyone was like, whoa. Like, you know, everyone probably had already a certain feeling about cops, but this guy just made it seem like, yeah, we lie. So what? Like, we'll lie to get you convicted if we need to. We'll lie to do whatever we need to do. So after that kind of set the stage for what I'm going to tell you happened in the deliberation room, right? So, yeah, so it was kind of like, whoa, that changed everything, you know, because then it was like, you know, you kind of forced a confession out of this guy to add more context to it, right? So that's kind of where the lawyer was going with it, right? So then, you know, finally, whatever, we start deliberating, you know, so that was the thing, that it was by accident, and then the others were like that, you know, he was trying to touch her or whatever. And, you know, that was the thing that they gave us. Like, he didn't grope her, he didn't nothing, that he went like that. And, I mean, she even said the same thing, that he put his arm around her and that it touched, like, the top of her breast or something, right? So, this time I was the foreman of this, you know, of the jurors, right? So, you know, we started deliberating one day, and so, you know, the little girl reminded, you know, my niece was about the same age. I was like, you know, you're in that bind, like, if this guy's really innocent, because that's what happened with the jurors, right? They're like, oh, they, male or female, they don't want to ruin this guy's life if it was just an accident. They didn't want to ruin his life. And then on the other hand, because I presented this to them too, I was like, look, we're going to screw someone up here. Either we're going to tell this little girl that she came forward, you know, because that's what you hear a lot, that a lot of people don't come forward and this and that till later, all these traumas. So I was like, we're going to tell her that she came forward and, you know, it wasn't taken seriously, right? Like, she came forward and, you know, we didn't do nothing about it. Or, we're going to ruin this guy's life. He's going to be a sex offender, this and that, all that stuff. So either we're going to kind of cause her something like, hey, she spoke up and still justice wasn't served, or we're going to ruin this guy's life. So regardless, it's a tough one, right? Like, we're going to mess up. And some people just couldn't see messing up the guy's life. Some people, you know, felt like, you know, they wanted to bring justice to the girl, right? So since I was a foreman, I was kind of pushing people towards the guilty thing, you know. I had like 9 voting guilty and only 3 not guilty. But then we couldn't come to an agreement. So the next day, we're back. We're at it again. And I had kind of I eased back, right? I didn't push anybody anymore. I wasn't, you know, I kind of just left it, you know, and I let everyone feel what they felt. And so I think I still might have voted guilty, you know. I really don't remember, but it was a hung jury, so it was a mistrial, right? It was 6-6. So, I mean, that gave me at least the peace of mind that I tried to do what was right. And I felt like, okay, I'll give the peace of mind, like, at least, you know, the girl on that hand knows that it wasn't unheard, like 6-6, you know, it was to that. We couldn't even agree to where it was a mistrial, you know? So they could try it again. I forgot exactly 100% what the whole mistrial thing is, but it's like, if you guys know, leave it in the comments, right? But I'm almost sure that's what it had to do with, right? Like, you could actually come back and do the trial over if you want to go through that whole process. And a lot of times people don't. So, you know, that's kind of the end of it. But, you know, and it might have been a lesson. Like, for this guy, if it really was an accident, like, hey, you bet, like, dude, if you ever get, you know, this is your second chance, so you better never, like, if you really, something, an accident, like, don't get, just keep your distance. You know, look at now, everybody had to learn to keep distance anyways, right? So he got a, you know, he got a heads up on the whole, like, keeping a distance from people, right? So anyways, that was that case, right? And so after, oh, and I forgot to add that. So anyways, one of the main reasons people didn't want to find him guilty was because of a police officer. They were like, yeah, it was a forced confession. So that was one of them, it was the main reason. People they felt like, dude, that was, oh, I think I bit myself. That was such a, that was such a forced confession. Damn, I think I got too excited because it reminds me of like all the chaos of that whole trial, right? So what do you call it? So yeah, it was like that confession was so forced in the, you know, the video we saw of the interrogation room and everything that people couldn't vote him guilty or decide on him being guilty because they saw it, you know. They were like, dude, you know, there was a forced confession. The police officer admitted he lied, everything. So this guy was probably never guilty, but it was almost like if he had admitted he had done something, but he didn't even realize he had admitted it. So that was the basis of the whole thing. I should have said that in the beginning, but it's coming back to me as I'm talking. It was like the whole basis of it was that he confessed to doing it. So that's kind of how the whole trial came about. But in reality, when you see the interrogation, it was like he didn't even know what the hell he couldn't even understand the guy. They didn't get him a translator, nothing. It was like he didn't really even know. So if he did say yes, he didn't even know what the hell he was saying. Hey, so this is the second video. The camera turned off on. It got too hot. So I'll just end that one. So that was pretty much it. You know, that one ended up being you know, mistrial hung jury. So yeah, and that was it. That was my two experiences with jury duty. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if you guys have been on jury duty. You know, I haven't even got the summons, and I guess it was because of the whole pandemic thing. But yeah, let me know how your guys' experience was, you know, during you know, doing jury duty. You know, those two were pretty memorable, and you know, yeah, I don't mind doing it at all, you know. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for listening or watching. All right, peace. Yo, I woke up this morning feeling like I'm the greatest alive.
Baby, don't you know you're the greatest?
You're the greatest, baby.
And you will never, never be alone, no. And if you ever start to feel you're worthless,
You ain't worthless.
I'm gonna sing it to you time and time again. Oh,
It's all
you're the
about dreams,
greatest.
dream the pursuit of happiness. I struggled all my life just to see what happy is, but they no lie, girl, I